Hi there, it's Mark Carlson here. So this week's video, what is awareness and how can it help you? Well, the first thing, if it doesn't help you, there's no point having it, right? So we've got to assume that having more awareness will help our life. So essentially awareness is, well, let's look first and foremost why we would need it and what we're going to be aware of. So when we're born into our tribe, we are programmed to believe what's right and wrong to make sure that all of us have the same belief, right? So that's the tribal conditioning that we come into. And as we wake up, and some of the things that we realize as we grow up, as we experience life and mature, is that some of those things that the tribe taught us are not necessarily true for us. And we become more autonomous. We start trusting in ourselves rather than the tribal conditioning. So of course awareness is that exact thing. You're becoming aware of who you are and how you define yourself via what you've been taught. Of course, the more aware I become, the more autonomous I become, and the more I recognize that I am the cause of everything I'm getting to see and experience. See, so if I keep seeing the same thing, the same pattern occurring in my life, let's use money, because the two big ones are always money and love. So let's use money. So if I do lots and lots of great things over and over and over again and money still doesn't come in, then the common denominator about that is me, right? So I'm the only one that's ever experiencing it. So my awareness around that would eventually hopefully recognize that something within me, some pattern or energy within me, no matter what I do, seems to have a blockage around allowing money to come to me. So having awareness around that will be very beneficial to me. Now, the more aware I become of that sabotaging pattern, in this case, it's a disharmonious energy or pattern or belief system inside of me. And the more aware I become of it, the more understanding I have, the wider I can see it, then the more I can do, the greater the chances that I'll be able to do something with it to free that field, to free that vein of energy so that money starts to come in. So what I know then is that as I become more aware and start to look at what my creations are, and then instead of trying to change the outside world or blaming the outside world or thinking that it's because of something out there that's stopping me have what I have, and stopping me get what I'd like to get, then I start to recognize I'm always at the cause. Whenever there's a problem in my life, I'm always there every single time, 100% of the time. Whenever there's an issue in my life, I'm always there every single time. Whenever there's a challenge in my life, I'm always there, right? So it's all about me. It really is. And I'm not saying that from an egotistical place. It's just the undeniable truth. It's always about me, as it is with you, because you're the only thing ever going on. So awareness is you recognizing what continues to happen that you don't particularly like, and you having a look at that. And what also continues to happen that you do like. What do you do when things work? When things keep working in your life, who are you being? And you become aware of that as well, and you try and use that technology in the other areas that are not working. So awareness is really important, right? Because the more aware you are, the more you can heal these sabotaging patterns by understanding them. The more aware you are of something, the more you'll see what you think and then what you do that causes a blockage. You see, what you think and what you do is coming from the belief to make sure the blockage stays there so you learn the lesson. So as you become more aware, you get to see clearly, what did I just think and what action did I take for that to not work? And then you change it. Now, when the awareness is so big, it becomes too painful to keep doing what doesn't work, right? If you want to stop smoking, and so many people say, yeah, I know it's bad for me. Right? Yeah, right. Really, you know, obviously, because you're still filling your lungs with smoke. No judgment. It's just the truth. I'm an ex-smoker. And I didn't know how bad it was for me. If I'd have known how bad it was for me, I wouldn't have done it. My awareness wasn't big enough. But look, when the awareness is so big, it's so blaringly obvious, it's too painful to do that anymore. You cannot be ignorant around it. It's just too painful. So your awareness isn't big enough if you keep cheating and going back to smoking. And again, no judgment. It's your own path. It's all our own paths. But you know, are you loving yourself when you're putting smoke in your lungs? Hello. You know, but that's the same for all of us, and we've all got more and more things to learn about what loving self is, but the awareness around it is key. So how do I become more aware? Well, first and foremost, deciding, having the intention to be aware and start looking at yourself from a responsible place as opposed to one that fits the narrative that makes you feel safe. So it's easy to blame that, and then I can just stay ignorant, right? It's their fault, it's his fault, it's her fault. Then I don't have to do anything. Whereas if I start becoming aware and take responsibility, I'll have to actually go inside and have a look at what is my creation here. I'm the only thing going on. It's got nothing to do with the outside world, not one thing. Are they relative to it? Yes, they trigger my buttons, they come in and play parts for me to get me to see things. But from my creation's point of view, I'm at the center of that. So I've got to take full responsibility for being at the center of this creation that life is for me, and especially in the areas that don't work. And then, so what can I do internally? How can I view myself? How can I see, what am I thinking? What am I doing? And as I become more aware, I can then change it, the pattern, the willpower and the strength inside of me to be autonomous. That's the one. The willpower inside of me to be autonomous, to be independent, to make it the way I want it to be, it strengthens because I'm fully taking responsibility, and that only happens with awareness, right? So awareness doesn't mean that you judge yourself for what you're doing. Awareness means that you look and say, that doesn't work. Never mind, buddy. It's okay. Let's try a different way. And you keep working it until finally the door's open and you've found the ticket in that area, in that particular area. And guaranteed there'll be new challenges because we want to continue to expand our awareness, because life always gets better when we do that. So you make the decision to be aware. And secondly, you stay with your attention in the present moment as often as you can. So 1,000 times a day, come back and recognize yourself when you're doing life. Have a look, what's actually going on as I walk down this street? Instead of just looking at these illusions that play out in your mind, that the screen keeps telling you about this, that and the other, that your beliefs keep telling you about this, that and the other, instead of looking there, look at the undeniable truth, which is the moment you're living in. And you look and say, what's actually going on? You're not looking for some unbelievable expression of miracles. You're just watching what's actually happening. So you're getting used to looking at what goes on. What am I thinking? What am I doing as I go down here? What story am I telling myself? What am I feeling? What does that mean? So you're watching yourself in the moment. You become the observer of yourself. So if I want to understand who I am, I've got to be with my attention where I am, right? I can't understand myself if I'm never where I am. All I'll be doing is looking at cerebral information, dead library, cerebral information that I've learned about things. But it has no power, not in comparison to the actual moment that I live in, where it's really going on and I really get to experience it going on right now, and then I get to understand myself and who I am. And things can change then. Have an absolutely fantastic day when you watch this. I look forward to talking to you again next time. Thank you so much.